So PS5 can actually run games on above 200 frames per second. For the people who clicked on this video just to get the answer is yes, you can get more than 120 FPS on PS5 or even close to 200 FPS. So first of all, let me show you my setup that I have here. So I have my PS5 right here that is connected to the monitor that is 240 Hz with a really long cable, because the monitor is actually on my desk because I use it on my PC. It's the Acer Predator 240 Hz monitor, so you can see it's the Predator version. So there are two games that actually works for more than 120 FPS is Rainbow Six Siege and Minecraft. I mean, these are the only games I have known that can go above 120 FPS. So in Minecraft actually there's a slider where you can set the frame rates. We'll get into that later though. So first I'm gonna get into Rainbow Six Siege and we're gonna go above 120 FPS on PS5, and trust me, we're gonna go above 120. I mean, we're gonna get more than 200 FPS. So first of all, we're gonna have to do some settings, and there's like pretty straightforward settings that much people, like, you know, majority of the people don't even look into. So you're gonna have to go to settings, and then you're gonna have to go to game preset settings and change the resolution mode to performance mode. Not even in game default, change it to performance mode, and then you're gonna have to boot up the game. So like I said, I only know two games that can go above 120 FPS. One is Rainbow Six Siege and one is Minecraft. So in Rainbow Six Siege, it's actually so simple because they have given so many settings to improve the frame rates, and PS5 can actually go above 200 in some cases. And when I say in some cases, it's actually more like, you know, you're gonna get more than 120 FPS all the time, but 200 frames, like, you know, there are some certain scenarios. So we're gonna get into those scenarios. So first of all, you're gonna have to do few more settings in the game as well. So when you load into Rainbow Six Siege, you're gonna have to start I mean, you can do whatever you want. For the sake of the video, I'm doing situations. So there are like a couple of settings that I'm gonna show you that's gonna improve the frame rates. So as you can see, I'm currently logged at 60 FPS, right? So since we have changed the game preset, and for this one you don't even have to change the game preset, like, you know, game resolution, but like, you know, you're gonna get this option directly in the game. So you can see I'm currently on 60 FPS logged, right? So if I go to display settings, and by the way, I have added another, like, you know, small, like, you know, zoomed in FPS so you can see clearly. So if I go to display settings, I'm gonna turn on VSync off. You can see VSync was on. So as soon as I turn VSync off and change the performance mode, I'm getting 130 FPS. Again, this is more than 120 FPS, right? Like PS5 is supposed to give 120 FPS. If I look up and move, it went literally up to 170 FPS. So that is straight up more than 120 FPS that I'm getting right now in the game Rainbow Six Siege on PS5. So you guys can see I'm on PS5, just to make sure that you guys know that I'm on PS5, and I'm even going above 180 frames. And what more settings that I'm gonna do that will give me massive FPS boost. So field of view, I'm gonna put it to 60, like, you know, all the way down. So the less field of view, less objects are gonna be on the screen, rendered on the screen, and I'll get more FPS. And don't get confused FPS from Hertz. So you guys can see I'm getting 190 frames per second right now in Rainbow Six Siege on PS5. If I look up and move, I'm going above 200. Literally, it's going above 200 frames per second. And the maximum frame rate I managed to get were 219 frames that you guys just noticed. So that's how you can get more than 200 FPS on PS5. Alright, and there's one thing I also noticed while my PS5 was connected to 240 Hz monitor, is that as soon as I start the game, like, you know, even though as soon as I start like, you know, a normal match, I'm on PS5 again. Let me show you that. So as soon as I click on the game, as soon as I start the match, my screen goes completely blank and the monitor turns, like, you know, the 240 Hz resolution, like, you know, 1080p 240 Hz resolution. So you see the screen went completely black before I started the match. And you can see I'm on 120 FPS logged, right? Why? Because VSync is probably enabled right now. So let me just show you that. So if you have VSync on, disable that, and you will not have any frame rate cap. And now I'm back on 130, and again if I look up, I'm going above 180 frames per second. If I'm running around, I'm getting literally close to 200 frames per second, and not just close to 200 frames per second, I'm going above 200 frames per second, like, you know, in some cases. And you can see 199, 207 frames, 212 frames, 214 frames. And now we're gonna jump into Minecraft, and like I said, Minecraft have pretty straightforward option to get 240 frames per second literally in the game settings. And by the way, there's one thing is PS5 can only output 120 hertz, like, you know, the HDMI is only limited to 120 hertz. So there's one sad thing is that no matter how many frames you get, no matter how frames the game is giving out, you only gonna get 120 hertz on your display. But there's nothing to worry about, because more frame rates equals to less input delay. So first of all, let me just show you, like, you know, make things clear here and show you in Minecraft. And by the way, Minecraft does feel really smooth on 240 hertz, on 240 frames actually. So you see, I have loaded in Minecraft, and it's actually feeling pretty okay. Like, you know, it's like, you know, it's pretty smooth, to be honest. So when I go to video settings, there's like so many things you can change. You can change the graphics, basically, like, you know, you can turn off all the high quality details, fancy leaves and stuff like that, like, you know, beautiful skies. And there's like so many things you can disable to get maximum frame rates. And you see there's option for max frame rate, where I can set the frame rate, and also chunks does a lot. Okay, lower the chunks equals to more frame rates. And you can see I hate this thing, when I click left it just goes all the way up to top. So let me just go all the way down to show you the frame rate slider in Minecraft that I have on PS5. So you see, I can actually set the frame rate to up to maximum frame rate, and there's even option to 240 hertz, not hertz, sorry, 240 FPS, and unlimited frames per second. So you guys can see right now, this is actually pretty insane, because a lot of people don't even know this, that this setting exists in Minecraft. Like, you know, you can set the frames, and trust me, the game does feel really smooth when I'm on, like, you know, 200 above frames, because the game is gonna render in 200 frames or even more than that. But the output is sadly is gonna be only 120 hertz, since PS5 is locked on 120 hertz. And remember, hertz and frames are completely different thing. So you're gonna get more than 200 frames inside the game, but the output is gonna be in hertz, that's gonna be locked in 120 hertz. But trust me, the input lag is literally 0 for console if you're playing on more than 120 hertz, like, you know, on more than 120 FPS in a game. And like I said, that PS5 is actually capped, like, you know, hertz wise, not FPS wise. The hertz are capped at 120 hertz. No matter what monitor you have, no matter what, like, you know, display you have, PS5 is gonna stuck on 120 hertz output, no matter how powerful the console is. You guys see, you can get more than 200 frames per second on PS5, but it's stuck on 120 hertz resolution, and that kind of sucks. Like, you know, the console can do like, you know, so much better than that. Maybe PS5 Pro is gonna be 240 hertz. Let's see how it goes. But anyway, this is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.